Guys, this is where we're at now. So these people are getting bolder with their racism, aren't they?
Yeah, it's racist. It's just pure racism.
I know people think it's patriotic and things like that, but I don't particularly get that.
It's a marking of territory.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about a flag that has been particularly bringing problems on the internet. And this is the St. George flags in England.
Right. So some people are seeing this flag as a sign of racism because lately more than usual, it has been popping up everywhere in the street, right? And those who are hanging it, they're saying that this is a sign of protest because they don't want migration to continue being so in England.
Right, guys, but there's some white people in England who are talking against these actions because according to them, they're saying this is indeed a sign of racism and it's making other people feel unsafe. While the colored people in England, also the black people in England are coming up and are speaking up against this. And from their own mouths, you're going to be hearing why they feel unsafe when such people are popping these flags up. So why should a flag bring so much
controversy?
discourse? Yeah, exactly. Let's watch and then we come back and talk about it. You can let us know what you think about this episode. Also consider subscribing. Before we go, I just want to ask a question. If you're living in England, right, let us know your thoughts and opinion on the comment section, or every other person as well. Let us know, is this statement true? Let's watch.
Guys, this is where we're at now. So these people are getting bolder with their racism, aren't they? Even though she's deleted it now, the user who posted it, the fact is they were brave enough to post it in the first place. So they're no longer hiding their racism. So this isn't even about illegal immigrants or asylum seekers or migrants. This is just hate for anyone who's not white, basically. Because everybody knows what blackface is, right? And what it means, what it connotes. Everyone knows what it is. We're all adults. So full-grown adults sat around, did that, painted their face. None of them could say, oh no, this is not good. All right, so we're private. And then they posted it publicly on TikTok. Obviously, they wanted the world to know how racist they are. Because there's no way they'd say, oh, we don't know, it's not this or that. We know what it is.
It's nice to feel proud to be British for once. See the England flags flying, and it's nice to have the community coming together. We're all standing for a good cause.
Or I would like to understand the reason behind it, of course. But if it's a message to the immigrant community, anything of that sort, then it's not that pleasant.
I'll keep the comments very subtle because it can offend some people, but I think it's great. It's getting the community back, getting English culture back. It's what we need in the country.
Somehow I feel worried, and the worry is from the fact that if it escalates, it can turn into something else. It's worrisome when, will I call it nationalism, is allowed to take a different turn.
I think it's time we have a conversation about how the rise of nationalism and patriotism in the UK is actually very scary and very dangerous. If you're not from the UK and you have not lived here, you will not understand how rampant racism is. People view the UK as this like gorgeous, multicultural, blended country, and it is, and I love it. But recent years, it has just been increasing and increasing and increasing. And in case you haven't noticed and you've been living under a rock, the past few weeks, specifically St. George flags, so the English flag and Union Jacks have been just springing up everywhere. I mean, absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, it's racist. It's just pure racism.
I know people think it's patriotic and things like that, but I don't particularly get that.
It's a marking of territory. Saying we're white, we're here, you know, F you.
It's not a racist thing. We're in England, and if you want to put up an English flag, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
It is a flag, we should be proud of it, like the Scots or the Welsh or the Irish.
We're showing us that this is a country is English. We're proud of our country, but if people want to come here as immigrants, then they should come through the proper channels.
It's more of an attack on immigration rather than true patriotism.
There's a weird connotation with British flags and what it represents.
It's been hijacked, turning into very negative, point of view around English identity, which I resent, if I'm really honest.
Anything that's not left-wing is far-right, which is absolutely stupid.
Leftists don't want you to be proud of England. Leftists hate the flag. They hate you for hating the flag. You know, they hate you for loving the flag. But it's just not like that, man.
Flag is a banner, right? You unite with people, you know, under the banner. You don't use it to discriminate or, you know, keep people away. That's not what a great country should be.
So a few weeks ago, before this whole ridiculous England flag Union Jack thing started, I was talking to one of my friends about the flag. And I was saying I would never display a flag because, unfortunately, I feel like that is a flag that has been taken by a certain group of people. And if I was to display that flag, I would feel like people might feel safe admitting that they have certain opinions to me, feeling safe in the knowledge that I would share those opinions when actually I do not share them at all. In fact, I think the actual complete opposite. And I think if I'd have said that at the time, openly on here, a lot of people would have disagreed with me. But unfortunately now there's a whole host of people who are proving me right, because most of the people who are putting the flag up will also have a shared opinion on people of colour in this country and immigrants specifically. And I don't share those opinions. And I would hate to put the flag up and have people think that I do.
Noticed it on my own road like about 2 weeks ago, but it's in every neighbourhood in my area and several areas across London and the rest of the UK. Coming home just now from work, it's nearly 4 a.m. I have seen bunting put all up my street, and the fear I had in my body at seeing that was unreal. Coming home at night by myself as a young black woman, astronomical, I couldn't even speak on it. I think we forget as a country that a year ago, give or take a few weeks, people of colour were scared to leave their homes and go to work because of the far-right extremists. They were literally putting blades in the seats of the tube. People of colour were scared to sit down on public transport because they thought they were going to literally bleed. People were getting acid thrown in their faces, spat at people in the street. A man got mobbed out of his fucking car and then it was set alight. What the, people act like Britain is this, so far cry removed from racism. It's literally so close to the surface, you just choose to fucking ignore it. And now, this rising sentiment of patriotism and nationalism. Yes, great, be patriotic, be proud of where you're from, this, that, and the third. But you don't understand the fear that it comes with being so patriotic and so proud of your country. Especially with how closely these flags, specifically the St. George flag, the English flag, has been tied to anti-migrant policies, anti-migrant protests, just anti-migrant rhetoric. This very us versus them mentality, you're either with us and you're proud to be British or you're not, and therefore you shouldn't be here, is disgusting. And even the Reform UK councils within the UK have been taking down the flags because they know the sentiment behind it. They understand the subliminal messaging and the symbolism behind having those flags posted up on lampposts, literally bunting across the street. The flags mean so much more, specifically the St. George flag. That flag specifically only really comes out when specifically white British people are trying to prove a point about who's British and who is not. That flag has been the poster board for so many far-right groups that back racism and back xenophobia against immigrants, specifically immigrants of colour. But this is as a young black person, as a young person of colour in the UK, it's scary. And then you couple this with the increased support for Reform UK because of how anti-migrant they are and pro-economy or whatever the fuck bullshit they're spewing. It's the British regurgitation of the Republican Party, I can't even lie. This country is built off the back of immigrants. Your national dish is butter chicken. Or is it coronation chicken? One of the fucking two. Sorry, I misspoke. The British national dish is in fact chicken tikka masala. Either way, it's not English. There are more Chinese and Indian takeaways than there are fish and chips in this fucking country. This country would die without immigrants. You saw what happened after Brexit and all of our resources were completely depleted, right? So for a country that relies on immigrants so much to have such a rise in anti-immigrant rhetoric and it being what's the word? It manifesting through these flags posted up everywhere is worrying and concerning, and it's something a lot more people need to be concerned about.
We were having this conversation and we went to the supermarket, and when we came out there was a car in the car park and it was covered in England stickers and slogans like "Make England Great Again" or similar. And there was a man getting out of the car and he was covered in tattoos. And I don't know how I knew I was going to see it before I saw it, but he had a swastika tattooed on him. And so we got into the car and I was like, well, I've never had the universe prove me right quite as quickly as that. And remember, this was before this whole ridiculous flag and Union Jack thing started. And that reignited a conversation about the flag and also about that tattoo. And how did we get to a point so quickly where you can have that tattooed on you and nothing happens to you? Because there was a time where if you had that tattoo, or if you did a Roman salute, as it was rebranded earlier this year, it didn't matter who you did it around, somebody would kick the shit out of you for doing that. We were all aligned that that symbol was bad. But actually, I don't know if you remember the riots last year, there was a guy who turned up in Sunderland, I think, and he had that tattooed on him, and people were thanking him and congratulating him and welcoming him to the protest. And so I just don't think that it is feasible for anyone to deny the link between the riots, the flags, everything that's happening with the flags at the moment, that symbol and people's feelings about it. Because I feel like a lot of those people see that symbol tattooed on someone and far from being horrified, they now think there's someone who probably shares my opinions on a lot of things and someone who should be welcomed into my group. And the fact that people are not seeing that and recognising how terrifying it is that actually your opinions are aligned with someone who would have that symbol on them as a way of displaying the fact that that's how they feel, and that technically aligns you with the mustache man and his friends, and you wouldn't be scared of that or ashamed in any way. In fact, you think you're the real British England people, and we should all be proud to be aligned with you. I just don't know how any of this is fitting neatly into a jigsaw that we should be proud of. I'm not proud that people are putting up a flag and are also feeling safe to have that symbol tattooed on their bodies or congratulating people who have that symbol tattooed on their body. That doesn't make me proud. That makes me mortified and ashamed, actually. So yeah, these are just my Friday morning musings, I guess.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about the videos we just played you. Yeah, you know, for someone to feel like something is happening, I'm trying to understand both sides, right? And when it comes to issues with immigrations, I do know that this is a very touchy, sensitive topic because we've seen what immigration has done in America. We've seen
Especially if it is illegal, because those who enter a country through legal processes, there's no problem with that, right?
We also know what immigration has done in Europe, and especially when you talk about immigration of people from the Middle East, the Muslims who come into these countries. We've seen videos where Europeans are complaining that they can no longer recognize their countries, they can no longer recognize the culture that was, they can no longer recognize the food, you know, just different things, because it has been hugely and greatly, it has been affected by immigrants moving in so much, you know.
Yeah, but to which I say, why blame the immigrants if it is your own government who are letting them in? Why not take that issue up with the government? Because at the end of the day, the government is the one with the real power to say who comes in and who doesn't, you know. If it closes its door to a certain group of people, it has the power to do that. But if it is opening the doors to a flood of people to come in, it's also the one that has the power.
Right. And guys, just one thing that I have to say, right, is that hearing from what the speakers today have been saying, even the white woman who was speaking about if you hang a flag, you definitely have an opinion on people who are not white, you know. And that really landed, if you're listening to these clips clearly, because she was condemning, she was trying to bring some certain characteristics of those people who hang those flags. And when you look closely, this type of people normally have a lot to say about black people and brown people, and those are the people we are talking about today. Are you genuinely hanging these flags because you're worried for your country, or are you like masquerading and hiding behind a
patriotism for you to
act?
For you to show your racism, you know. And then another thing I've noticed is, for some reason, a lot of supremacist, racist white groups are popping up all over the world. It's not just America, it's not just Europe, but also in Australia, we've seen
Even
these kinds
in South
of groups.
Africa.
Yeah, even in South Africa, a place called Cape Town. No, not Cape Town, but Western Cape. Yeah. So in Australia, it was just the other week that they were trending because the white Australians were organizing a protest against other people of color, you know. And in Canada, we also saw a group marching because they want, actually they even have a training site, and the government called that group a terrorist organization because they even undergoing training, because they truly
on
believe
how to deal with people who look different.
They truly believe a race war will erupt in Canada someday, you know. And leave alone Canada, even in America, there was a legit group that were wearing those, you know, the
Black
banners that Hitler used to wear, and black clothes, and then they went to march in a black neighborhood. But in that black neighborhood, black people were ready for them, and they were chased out of that town, right? And they went running like little girls, you know. And in Europe now, England, we are seeing this same behavior come up, and some of them are even referencing to make England great again.
And you know where those certain words are coming
of the
from?
slogan are coming from. And now the biggest question we are asking ourselves is, why are all these white supremacists finding it comfortable for them to exhibit such acts of racism right now, and it's in 2025?
Right, guys, I feel like there's a lot that we have to think about right now, and there's a lot that has to be done. Of course, we're not even assuming, or we're not even ignoring the fact that immigration is an issue and it's a problem. Right now, I feel like immigration is a problem everywhere, because even here in Africa,
right,
we
people
have
are
the
moving
same
all over the world right now,
looking for better places they can be able to settle.
Right, and if they're moving legally, they're likely to have less problems than the ones who are moving illegally.
Right,
but
so
in cases like this, it's a problem because it feels like everybody is being targeted, not just the illegal immigrants, because it's a very general message.
Right, it's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Now, if you're using an excuse of you have a problem with immigration, and then for
you
someone,
attack even the legal ones.
Yeah, you attack even the legal ones, yeah. But let's speak of this person who's using immigration being a problem as an excuse to act the way they do. Right? On the streets, is there a way you can be able to tell, or do they have a sticker on their forehead walking around saying, I'm legal and I'm illegal? There are even others who have been born in those countries, and I'm not just talking one generation or two generations, you know,
3, 4, 5 generations.
Just like people who literally belong in Europe, people
but
who are
they're still being treated like illegal immigrants,
and that is not the risk of it all, you know.
Right. In cases like this, I wish these white supremacist groups could let the law deal with these issues, you know, because right now this is just creating unnecessary attention, or tension, not attention, tension, you know. And soon enough, I do believe that black people, for the most part, are very calm. Okay, when it comes to this sort of situations, they're very calm people that sometimes I usually wonder, why don't black people become more cautious when such things begin to happen? But generally, I do feel like even when the world is imploding, sometimes black people usually just sit around like nothing is happening. And I feel like this is the reason why mostly these white groups usually feel like black people are an easy target until they mess up with the wrong neighborhood, you know.
Right. Personally, what I'd like to, let me not say what I'm thinking. I was thinking out loud, guys, but let me leave it at that. Or should I just say what I was thinking?
Just think it to yourself.
Okay. If you watched this far, you can ask me in the comment section if I see your comment, because sometimes a lot of the comments come in. But if you're amongst the first people to ask me what I was thinking, I think I'm gonna write it on the comment section, right? Okay, guys, let us know what you think about.
And you know what's very funny is how white people are very afraid of losing their spaces. Yet black people, I don't know, black people have an aura. Black people have an aura to themselves of they don't feel insecure because they already belong down to this earth. As in, that is the vibe I'm getting from these black communities that are having problems with these white people. Because why should you be rah-rah and rowdy about something when the government already is taking care of it, number one, or the government is the one creating that specific problem?
That's a good question.
I don't get it. Like, there's a miscommunication somewhere, you know, for these people to strongly feel like this. And you remember there's also an interview that I think we play you at the beginning of the video, where this British man was saying immigrants are taking everything from them, they're taking even their jobs. And the interviewer asked this man, okay, what qualifications do you have? And with his beautiful bottle of beer, he confidently said immigrants have also taken his skills away.
I think he didn't wait to hear and internalize the question. You know, that's called
just
blaming
buffoonery, you know.
Blaming immigrants for everything. But anyway, it's okay.
It's okay, guys. Let us know what you think about this episode. Also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.